Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be showing you how you can recreate this hexagon shaped carton. It's a plain carton, and as you can see I've also added this gradient to each of these rectangles. So it's a plain carton where once it gets folded it becomes into a shape of a hexagon, and I've given this gradient to replicate the effect of this cardboard material that's going to be used. And these white lines where you see, these are the areas where the folds will happen. And once it's made and once it's printed and once it's folded, then you can add or keep in anything inside this hexagon shaped carton. It's really easy to recreate, and I'll show you how that's done. So the first thing I want to do is to open a new document. I'll be sticking to this A4 size document, which is 210 millimeters in width and 297 millimeters in height. And I'm going to go ahead and also rename my document over here to be hexagon shaped carton. And I also make sure that my orientation is in portrait format. I'm going to go ahead and click on create. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll be making these 5 additional copies of this original document right here, and then later on then add the gradient as well. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be using my rectangle tool, and I'll be just using this document as my reference to make a rectangle of the same size again, and be placing it here onto the side as well. So I'll be making more copies, 4 more copies on the left hand side. So to make more copies, I'm going to go ahead and click on Alt to make a copy, and then just drag my document onto the other side like that. There I have 3, and I'm going to make 3 more. So click on Alt again, click on Alt, like this, make another copy by clicking on Alt again, and one last copy, clicking on Alt, and like that. So I'll be zooming out so that I can see all the sides like this. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll be renaming my layer 1 to template like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the top flaps as well. So I have over here I already made this. I'm going to use this as my reference now. So I'll be making these 2 flaps for now. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be clicking on the rectangle tool again, and I'll just go ahead and make a rectangle like this, and I'll click on the direct selection tool, and I'll select this anchor point, and I'm going to take this edge and bring it outside a little. So I'll be clicking on Shift and the right arrow key and bring it outside once, twice, 3, 4 times, and I'll do the same thing on the other anchor point as well. So click on Shift and the left arrow key once, twice, thrice, and 4 times like this. So I've got this. Now I'm going to go ahead and make this handle right here. So I'll be selecting the rectangle tool again, and I'll be making one rectangle like this. So I'll go ahead and also delete the fill because I just need the stroke, which is the outline for now. I'll select this, and I'm going to make another smaller rectangle inside this original rectangle. So in order to do that, I'll be going to Object, Path, and Offset Path, And over here in this offset path value, I'll be giving a value of minus 40, minus 40, and if I click on preview, and it's made like this, and I'll go ahead and click on OK. I'll zoom on this. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just bring this down like this. I'm just going to adjust this a little, like this, and I'm going to just change the stroke size of these two rectangles to 3 points. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll select these two and come over here to this shape builder tool. So I'm just going to be filling this shaded area with the color white for now, like that. Okay, and I can just go ahead, select this rectangle and delete this, like that. So now I have to make some flaps on this side, on these two sides as well. So I'll be using the pen tool for this, and I'll bring the fill back to white color for now. I'm going to zoom in on this and start making the flaps like this, and go ahead and also close this like that. I'm going to, once that's made, I'll just select this and I'm going to make a mirror copy out of it onto the other side as well. So in order to do that, I'll select this shape, right click on this, go to transform option and click on reflect. I'll make sure that my vertical option has been switched on and click on copy, and then just drag this onto my other side like that. So it was pretty easy and it's done. So we've made this. Now the only thing that's left to do is that I just want to round the corners of these edges, right? So I'll just select this anchor point and this anchor point. I'll go ahead, round the edges like this. But no, first I'll actually select these anchor points as well, and then go ahead and round the edges off like that. Okay, so now we've got the handle as well. So now let's see, what else do I have to make? I have to make these two flaps on the bottom side as well. I'll zoom out again, and these flaps were on this rectangle and on this rectangle as well, if I'm correct. Yep. So I'll be using the rectangle tool again and just go ahead, make a rectangle like this, and I'll add the fill to be white. So I'll be using the direct selection tool again and select this anchor point, click on shift to select the other anchor point as well, and go ahead and then just round the edges off completely like that. So once it's made, I can just select this and I'll make a copy out of it onto this one as well. So to do that, I'll be clicking on Alt to make a copy and make a copy over here as well. So similarly, I'll select this flap, click on Alt, and then just drag it onto this side as well. So unfortunately the copy did not happen, so make sure that you have your Alt button pressed on all times and bring the flap like that over here. I'm just going to shift this a little so that it becomes centrally aligned like that. Alright, once that's made, now the only thing that's left to do is to make this big hexagon right here with additional flaps as well. So I'll be coming back here to this rectangle tool and clicking on this polygon tool. I'll click and drag, and as you can see that I'm able to make this big polygon like this, and I'm just going to drag this to the bottom like that. I'll zoom on this and I'm just going to rotate this a little bit more like the only thing that's left to do is that I'll just adjust this a little so that it becomes centrally aligned like that. So I'll click on the direct selection tool again, click on this anchor point and then just drag it so that it intersects with the edges of my document like that. Okay, so now I'm going to make these two flaps here on the side. So in order to do that, I'll be choosing my pen tool again and make my flap like this. It has to come over here and close the shape like that. So I'll select this and make a copy on the other side as well, but before that I'm just going to make slight changes. So I'll select this anchor point and bring it forward so that it becomes more symmetrical like that. So I'll select this and make a mirror copy onto the other side as well. So I'll select this flap, right click on this, go to transform, reflect, make sure that the vertical option has been switched on and copy. But in case that does not happen, make sure that the shape is selected, right click, transform and then reflect, copy. And we have successfully made this mirror image. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it over here. I'm going to adjust this a little, select this anchor point, I'll zoom on this and get this anchor point selected like that. Okay, I'm going to select this flap that we had made, click on Alt and bring it over here as well. I'll zoom in. I'm going to adjust this now. So I'll select the direct selection tool. I'll select this anchor point. Oops. Okay, wait. Point. Okay, just in case it's not happening, I might as well just have to make a new rectangle now. Okay, so I'll come over here and make a rectangle like this. I'm going to make this a little bit more bigger like this over here. Go back to the direct selection tool and select this anchor point, click on shift and select the other anchor point as well, and it's going to go ahead and round the edges off like that. Okay, so we have made this like over here. Okay, so there you go, we've made our template. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the gradient to these now. So I'll select these 5, come over here to this gradient tool, and over here I'm going to change the color. So by default the gradient is from white to black. So over here in this white one, I'll select this and I'm going to choose a lighter shade of brown. And over here in this black one, I'll double click on this and choose a darker shade of brown like that. And then I'm just going to change the angle like this. Okay, so this looks pretty neat, but I'm unable to see the fold lines. So what I'm going to do is that I'll select these again and I'll change the stroke color from black to white and increase the stroke weight to 3, and now it's visible, right? I'm going to go ahead back to the rectangle tool and I'm going to fill this one with the same gradient as well, like that. Double click on this and adjust this like that. Once that's made, I can go ahead, select these, and I'll be adding a light brown shade like that. Now I'll select these flaps gradient, and I'll change it like this. Similarly onto these ones as well. Go ahead like this. Back to the gradient one. Okay, that looks pretty neat. I'll select this handle and click on shift and select this one as well, and change the fill to light brown like that. I'm going to go ahead and also change the stroke color of these as well. So I'm going to select all these, change the stroke to white, and increase the stroke weight to 3. There. And now for these parts as well, I'll select the hexagon first, come over here, select the gradient, and let it be the way it is because it's blending and it looks more consistent that way. And I'll select these two flaps, add the gradient as well. And yeah. So I'll change the stroke color as well. Over here to white, and change this color to a darker shade of brown, like this, and also change, let's see, yep. Okay, so we've made our template like this. I'm going to go ahead and lock my layer. I'll make a new layer, and this time I'm just going to add, rename the layer to be logo. As you can see over here in this reference, I had added this recyclable logo. I'm just going to add that in this one as well. So I'll be opening up a new image. To do that, I'll be clicking on Ctrl+O and choose this recycle icon that I had already saved. So you can easily get these type of images up on Google and save the appropriate image as you like. I'll go ahead and crop this image. Like this, apply. And I'm going to add this over here and resize this smaller. We're going to add that over here. So I also want to blend this image with the background so that it looks like it's been printed on top of this one right here, this carton. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock my template. I'm going to select my image, go to this transparency panel right here, and over here in this blending mode, I'll select from normal to multiply and go ahead and lock my template layer again. So there you go, we have successfully made our hexagon shaped carton. So now the only thing that's left to do is that I'll be now saving my document. So in order to do that, I'll be going to File and clicking on Save As. So by default, my file name is going to be the same as my document name, which is the hexagon shaped carton, and my save as type is going to be Adobe Illustrator. So I highly recommend that we save a file in this format so that in case if I want to make any further changes in my document, I can easily do that by accessing my AI file, and I'll click on Save and click on OK. And there you go. We have now successfully made our hexagon shaped carton, and we've also saved it as an AI file. So now that we've come to the end of our tutorial, I hope you found this video to be useful, and thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.